All right, there you have it. Teofimo Lopez is back. Not bad at all. He looked good. He looked good. First fight at 140, even though he's not fighting a very good opponent. It's his first fight at 140, lesser opponent, but he's coming off a long layoff. I thought it was good. I gave him an A. I don't know why a lot of people are so critical. Well, let me take that back. I know why people are so critical. He's a shit talker. He talks a lot of shit, and then he's been a sore loser lately with the defeat against Cambosos. So yeah, I know why he's getting a lot of backlash. But if you put that aside and you're not being biased, that was not a bad performance. His first fight, coming off a beating, he didn't just lose; they beat his ass, and going up in weight, long layoff. So I don't like the guy either because for so many reasons I've stated, he's talking too much shit, delusional as fuck. But whatever, if you put that aside, I give him a good solid A. That was an A performance. It was good. Get his feet wet, get in there at 140. He better not keep fighting fighters like this. This is it. You only get this one because you're up there, man. You're a shit talker. You're supposed to be part of the elite, right? So this is it. You just get this one, they get back on track and fight a top fighter. If you're not gonna fight a world champion in your very next fight, you gotta fight some top opponent like Barbosa. Barbosa was right there. I know you guys seen him on the front. He was right there in the front row. He was sitting next to Bob Arum, I think. The whole squad, man. De La Hoya was right there. The owner of the Raiders and all that. He was right there. He was like just chilling. Like he was laughing. A lot of times he was laughing like with his friend or whoever he was right there with, like trying to act like if Teofimo, he was critical. He was critical because he might be a potential opponent coming up next. So Barbosa's already probably talk a little shit. So he's being critical, but that's who he wants. Because remember, Teofimo, one of the things that rubbed me the wrong way too, he went into this fight acting like if nobody wanted to fight him at 140, all the top fighters. And that's when all the top fighters came out talking shit, like you full of shit, bro. You never even offered any of us a fight. And Barbosa's one of them. And of all those fighters, I think that's the only one that I seen right there, Barbosa. So I mean, and if you go to BoxRec, he's already listed. Teofimo, his fight is already scheduled for December 10th. So they already got plans for him. That's why I think that De La Hoya was right there wasting his time because it looks like Bob Arum anticipated De La Hoya showing up. He knew already he was going to show up because he said it last week that he was moving on from Tank Davis because they're not picking up or whatever. And that's why they even got this shit already scheduled. You go to BoxRec for Teofimo, and it's already scheduled December 10th on ESPN Plus. And Teofimo himself, after the fight, said that he'll be fighting on pay per view. So, I'm thinking pay per view. It better be against Ryan Garcia. That'll be the only pay per view fight. Prograis is already, tied up against Cepeda. So I'm thinking, who the fuck it's gonna be one of them fights, kind of like PBC giving us bullshit ass fights on pay per view. It's gonna be like that, man. I have a feeling because, like I said, like Bob Arum rushed to schedule that date for him, knowing that De La Hoya was going to be there trying to make the fight with Ryan Garcia. So he already rushed to schedule it, like saying, I don't know, you want Ryan Garcia to fight Teofimo, he's going to have to come over here. We already got it scheduled on ESPN Plus. It ain't going to be none of that, like De La Hoya's looking for, like a joint pay per view. It kind of feel like Bob Arum quickly did that just for that case. Like, if you want to make the fight with Ryan Garcia, he has to come over here. We ain't doing no joint pay per view. Because, yeah, that was pretty quick to rush and put that date down. It's kind of like what he did with Better BF when he fought in last fight against Joe Smith Jr. He already had that shit scheduled for Better BF to fight Anthony Yard. Like closing the door right away on Bibol. So fucking Bob Arum, man, being sneaky. So it kind of feels like that's the way it's going. Like they already got his date, location, and everything. And Arnold Barbosa Jr. is a great fight against Teofimo as his first legitimate badass fight at 140. This one from last night was nothing, like I said, to get his feet wet. A comeback fight. But against Barbosa, that'll be a badass fight, but not on pay-per-view. They better not put that shit on pay-per-view, bro. Come on, man. It's like, dude, what you doing, man? Like these stupid ass fools like fucking over there like Ellerby and Mayweather Promotions and now Heyman trying to act like if, oh, Gervonta Davis, every fight's gonna be pay-per-view. Like he keeps flopping over and over. That's what's gonna happen with this one. Is that what they're gonna try to do with Teofimo? He's just gonna fucking flop. Flop and flop and flop. Unless it's like a badass fighter, like or a badass fight against Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. You know what I mean? Lomachenko, the rematch. Some shit like that. Against Barbosa, pay-per-view. Good luck with that shit. That shit's gonna flop. So, putting my feelings of what I feel towards the guy, Teofimo, which I don't like. I'm not very high on him. Putting that aside, I give him an A. He looked really sharp. He looked really good. Really good. He got hit here and there. And it wasn't like one punch here and there. He got hit with some combinations that he shouldn't have gotten hit with. But that was a little bit of rustiness. Because then you seen his sharpness, the power. So, but it's a lesser opponent. But yeah, he looked good. I mean, look at Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, what was his excuse when he didn't look good in that first fight back from the long layoff against Tago? Emmanuel, I think it's called. Emmanuel Tago. What was the excuse? He went all 12 rounds. He didn't knock him out. He didn't stop him. That was the excuse, the layoff. And he wasn't coming off a beating. He was still undefeated. Teofimo was coming off a beating and going up in weight. Teofimo looked better. He got the knockout. And that's what Ryan Garcia was going for. He couldn't do it against that little ass fool, Tago. So I think if any Ryan Garcia fans are critical, they're looking stupid. Because Teofimo looked better. And I don't even like either fighter. So, I'm fucking neutral right here. I don't like either fighter. I'm just being real. Teofimo looked better than fucking Ryan Garcia off that long layoff. And then some people in the comments I see him, they brought up, oh yeah, but what about Fortuna? Well, yeah, that was the second fight off the layoff for Ryan Garcia. We haven't seen the second fight off the layoff for Teofimo. That's what we're gonna get. The second fight. He already looked good in the first fight after the layoff. Ryan Garcia didn't. So that's what's going on right now. There's a lot of fucking fans from so many different fighters, and most of the time it's like they're fans of that one fighter and not a fan of any of the other fighters. It's like Ryan Garcia and Teofimo, they have their own fans. It's hard to find any fans that are like both. So we hear a lot of that bullshit going back and forth. And then we got in the co-main event, Sayas. I didn't really see the fight, but I'm like, come on, man. He's hyped up a lot. And I'm not saying he's overrated or anything. I just want to see him against better opposition by now. He's just got to fight better opposition by now. That's all I got to say. He's got potential. I want to see more. Like, better opposition, man. It's like too weak, the one he's getting. So, yeah, I mean, he even said it himself. Prograis is already wrapped up. He's going to fight Cepeda. So that's like the next best opponent is Arnold Barbosa Jr. But don't give me that shit on pay-per-view, bro. You're going to flop big time. Big time. And they're going to make it in the big room, they said, Madison Square Garden. But yeah, he looked good, man. Like I said, I'll give him an A. I just hope we don't see more opponents like this. You got to, you look good, quick, fast. This is your weight class. You're in. That's it. You got your 7 rounds in. Boom. Let's go. Barbosa or better. Arnold Barbosa next or better. And when I say better, like Ryan Garcia or another current world champion, even though, well, he can't get that right now because it's Josh Taylor, or another, badass former world champion. Here, let me go through this list. I'll show it to you guys. Some article wrote this right here. The top 5 possible opponents for Teofimo now after this win. They brought up some opponents that are not going to be available. So at number 5, they got Adrian Broner. Bro, Adrian Broner is fucking washed up like a motherfucker, bro. And it doesn't even fucking matter if he ends up winning against, his next fight, which is next weekend. Yeah, it's already next weekend against Omar Figueroa. Because Omar Figueroa is just as washed up. You know what that fucking fight reminds me of? Broner versus Omar Figueroa. Fucking Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. They're fucking washed up like a motherfucker over the hill. Whoever wins doesn't fucking really say anything. It's just like fucking bragging rights over the other fighter. The same shit right here. Adrian Broner, Omar Figueroa. These two fuckers will get killed by Teofimo, man. So I don't even know why the fuck they listed Adrian Broner. And then Adrian Broner, we know where he at. PBC. PBC ain't fucking working with Top Rank, man. Not for this bullshit ass fight. And then they put Gervonta Davis, man. Gervonta Davis, cherry picking ass, he's canceled out immediately, automatically. You know why? Because he won't look in the direction of any threat, any top fighter. So, nah, you go fucking rule this shit out. And that's another PBC El Heyman fighter ain't gonna work with fucking Top Rank. You know that shit won't happen. That's why Teofimo didn't even fucking mention his name anymore. And then, yeah, they listed Regis Prograis, even though he's fucking scheduled to fight Cepeda for that vacant title. So whoever wrote this fucking article, fucking slap in the face. Teofimo got his shit confused then, because today at the fight, he said Josh Taylor getting married. I think he confused him with Jose Ramirez. Josh Taylor's actually scheduled. Well, it's not scheduled yet, but it's most likely looking like he's going to fight the rematch against Catterall over there in the UK. Because remember, he's on that banned list. He can't come into the US because of his connections with MTK Global. So Josh Taylor is not going to happen either. And then this one is the one that, of course, I mean, everybody want to see Ryan Garcia against Gervonta. But I mean, if that can't happen, it won't happen. Of course, I would love Ryan Garcia versus Teofimo. I would buy that shit too. But like I said, I don't know if that's just gonna happen. De La Hoya was right there. Why the fuck? Why the fuck did Bob Arum already have it rushed in at having a date already for Teofimo? That's kind of like closing the door on De La Hoya. Like, I know De La Hoya's coming over, so I'm closing that fucking door. If he wants that fucking fight with his fighter involved, well, his fighter Ryan Garcia got to come over here to me because my shit is already scheduled. I already got Madison Square Garden. I already got the date. I got him on ESPN Plus. Teofimo, my fighter. Fuck you. I ain't doing none of that split pay-per-view shit. I got my shit ready to go. If you want your fighter against mine, he's got to come over here. That's what I got. That's what I got from that shit being already set up. His date for Teofimo. It's like, fuck out of here, De La Hoya. I ain't working with you. So yeah, those are the 5 written by this article. I don't know who the fuck wrote this shit. It was pretty bad. Lyle Fitzsimmons from Bleacher Report. So yeah, you did a top 5, and the only one likely he would likely fight is probably 1 out of 5. Who is Ryan going to fight at 140? Kid Guts is asking on Instagram. Shit, we already know how that shit goes, man. I've been telling you guys. Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, we're going to just be going back and forth like always. And at the end, they're not going to fight each other, and they're going to continue with their fucking cherry picking. That's all I got to say. Who the fuck they going to fight? I don't know. I don't know. The only difference is that one tries to make it seem like he wants all the smoke. Ryan Garcia, through the media, social media, and then fights nobody. The other one's staying low. He's staying quiet. He ain't saying shit. And then he comes out talking through the media and social media, Gervonta Davis, but at the end, fucking fights nobody. Just cherry picks. So here are some of the tweets that went out today. Arnold Barbosa Jr. tweeted, watching this Teo fight, and then he put those little emojis like he's food, like saying he would beat him easily. Like he's food. I mean, he had the need to tweet even though he was right there, and he even got interviewed. So he's really after him. So like I said, Barbosa, perfect fight for Teofimo next, as long as you don't put that shit on pay-per-view. And then Devin Haney tweeted just the shit emoji. We know he was gonna be critical. You know how it is. Devin Haney, Teofimo, Ryan Garcia, all three always talking shit about each other. Gervonta Davis, all that shit. So you expect that shit. Devin Haney just put the shit emoji. And then Rougarou Progress, he tweeted, I know, I heard the bullshit. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Oh, and then Progress also put a good little comeback fight, but the dogs at 140 will chew him up. So he was critical. He was talking shit about the Teofimo. I don't know about all that, man. I don't know. We'll see. I think we're gonna have a better understanding if Teofimo really belongs with the top dogs, with the big dogs at 140, if he fights Arnold Barbosa Jr. That is the perfect test to see if he could become a world champion again, this time at 140. Because if you can't get past Barbosa, and I mean, you might not. Barbosa's a badass too. Barbosa might be a world champion in the future. He's been trying to get that shot too. Cepeda, the one that's fighting Progress too, same thing. So I think what we saw tonight, I mean last night, Teofimo, he just looked good for going up in weight, for coming off the long layoff after taking a beating. That's it. We still don't know if he's going to be able to be a badass and a top dog at 140. We'll see. He just needs another fight against a better opponent. Barbosa would be perfect. So yeah, you expect that these people to be critical. I mean, who else? Let me see. I think Clarissa Shields was congratulating him. She was being cool. Congrats, Teofimo, the take back, good return. Sergio Mora just wrote, Teofimo is back. Gabriel Rosado, Lopez put his foot on the gas and took Campas out early. Campas was gaining confidence and Lopez put him on check. So not everybody was being critical. And then we had Richardson Hitchens. He was talking about Teofimo, my dog, but leave him out the ring with me. So somebody trying to say that he'll kick his ass. Some were being critical, some were being supportive. So, but yeah, Ryan Garcia, we'll see what's up. We'll see what happens right there, man. The bullshit just gonna keep on going. Maybe we'll see. Cause yeah, we already saw what Mr. De La Hoya got off. Look at fucking De La Hoya's bullshit too, man. I mean, from one day to the other. Last week, it was one day that he had already. I don't know who he told. Somebody on YouTube interviewed him, and he said that we're talking. You know, him and the Gervante's team. The good thing we started talking. We started negotiating. So the good thing we're talking. That's a good sign. And the very fucking next day is when he comes out saying that shit. After I think it was after it was in last weekend's fights. Right after the fucking fights. Oh, after the Virgil Ortiz fight. They interviewed him again, and he's already talking about he was frustrated that Gervante's side, nobody's picking up. He doesn't know who to talk to, and that he's moving on, and that's why he was going to go to the Teofimo fight. So that motherfucker's already lying, bro. He's lying already. Wait, you had just said that you were talking to that side. That was the good thing. It was a good sign. And the very fucking next day, you're saying that you haven't spoken to anybody because you don't know who to talk to. Nobody's picking up. So you're moving on. See the bullshit I'm talking about? And then over there, how come they're not trying to reach over to fucking De La Hoya to try to make the fight? Because Mayweather came out saying that the fight could be done easily if they fight at 135. Because Ryan Garcia had said he only fights at 140 now. So when he came out saying that, that's when fucking Ryan Garcia tweeted back and said, I'll fight at any weight at 135. Anybody can get it, including you." He kind of like called out fucking Mayweather too. So boom, and that was it. Through social media, we heard that shit on social media. It was on Twitter, and then we hear De La Hoya say that shit. We're talking, and then the next day, I don't know. I can't reach. I don't know who to talk to. Nobody's picking up. I don't know. Like, what the fuck? You said you were talking to them, and now you're saying that you haven't talked to them. There's no way of contacting them. Like, I told you guys, I fucking told you, man. Welcome to the fucking bullshit. It's just gonna keep going back and forth, pointing fingers at each other, trying to act like if one wanted to smoke or both wanted to smoke, but they started pointing the finger at each other. Who's the one that killed it? Nah, his team killed the fight. Nah, his team killed the fight. It's gonna be going back and forth, bullshit after bullshit, and at the end, they're both gonna fight bullshit ass fights, cherry picking ass fights, and both fan bases are gonna be pointing the finger, saying it was this guy's fault, it was that guy's fault, and back and forth, just fucking bullshit. I told you. I mean, I don't take too much pride in saying I told you because it was pretty easy, man. A lot of people saw that shit coming. It's not like I'm so special and I'm like you. I was right when everybody no everybody fucking kind of saw all this bullshit going back and forth. It was gonna happen. Everybody saw it was gonna happen. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Kid Guts is asking me, would Ryan Garcia and Sandro Martin, the guy that beat Mikey, be a good fight? I forgot it. Well, yeah, that they might be looking that direction because yeah, that guy Martin, I think he's from Spain, the one that beat Mikey Garcia. He's on the zone. So yeah, you see what I mean? I mean, I don't know if that's gonna be a good fight. I mean, that guy he beat Mikey Garcia. He beat Mikey Garcia that was already not looking good already for a while. And obviously he was already, looking to retire. Kind of like Sean Porter when he fought fucking Crawford. They already had a 1 foot out the door. They already had plans to, make it maybe be their last payday and, bounce. So I don't know about Sandro Martin, but I mean, fuck no. All these fights that we mentioned, all these fights that Ryan Garcia mentions himself, and then we get that fight, Sandor Martin. Fuck no, man. That's some weak ass shit, fool. So, but that's what they're gonna end up doing. Watch some shit like that. I think the best thing that could happen, Ryan Garcia actually fight a threat, fight the other guy that just signed with the zone, Montana Love, the one with the little dog. Yeah, I think that's his name, right? Yeah, Montana Love. Yeah, that would be a good fight. That's a good test right there. That would be a good one right there. Better than that guy Martin. So, yeah, what we got next coming up? I mean, next weekend's gonna be nice, nice. We got Emmanuel Navarrete on ESPN. That's the main event on Showtime. Adrian Broner versus Omar Figueroa Jr. I mean, that fight is like they're like completely washed up fighters, but it's like fuck it, it's not the only fight that weekend. And then during the day over here in the afternoon is going to be for us. In the U.S. is going to be the fight between Usyk and Joshua, the rematch. So I mean, those are the three fights we got coming up this weekend during the afternoon. In the U.S., we got Usyk and Anthony Joshua, the rematch. Then in the nighttime, prime time is going to be in Showtime, Adrian Broner, Figueroa, and on ESPN is going to be Emmanuel Navarrete. Yeah, but this Barbosa guy seems like I think that's the direction they're going. Like I said, they even got him in the ring. He was getting interviews by what's his name, Bernardo Osuna. He got an interview right there. They were showing him throughout the fight. So, and then we found out that he already got a scheduled date, Teofimo Lopez, for December 10th. Yeah, Vic Cord 16 on Instagram is asking me about the deal with that thing. What's he says? I know you spoke about this before, but what's the deal with Josh Taylor and MTK? Well, I mean, it's the same as every other fighter that was signed to MTK Global. They're all banned from coming into the U.S. because they're the guy that put up all the money for MTK Global was that fucking what do you call it? Drug dealer. He's like a big ass drug dealer. He's on the loose. He's wanted. So they're onto his ass. And so anybody that was, signed to MTK Global, they're on the ban list. Nobody's getting locked up, but they're banned from coming to the US, I guess, until they resolve this shit. And MTK Global just, they just shut down. They just like shut down operation because, the one that put up all that money was that fucking drug lord. And yeah, Tyson Fury, that's one of them. He's one of them, Tyson Fury. part of MTK Global. Pictures and everything, homies with that drug dealer. So, shady ass Tyson Fury. Of course, he's connected to that guy. Of course. We know about his shady ass. So, yeah, Glove Up 714 on Instagram is asking me, you think Fury cheated against Wilder? Well, I've said it over and over, man. He got away with a lot of shit. And you see who he was being backed up by? That big ass drug lord. And then that guy, the farmer that was coming out talking against him, they had to shut him up. It was easy to shut him up when one of your bosses, part of your team is, it was a drug lord. They shut him up. So yeah, that motherfucker been cheating. Tyson Fury, for sure. And then look who he's tied up to. So yeah, that's gonna be the thing. But I mean, that's why I think that he's gonna end up fighting Catterall, Josh Taylor, because he could fight in the UK. And that's where the first fight happened, in the UK, in Scotland, where he's from, Josh Taylor. So I think there it is. No, that settles that. The ban in the US, it doesn't matter. Just fight in the UK. And then, yeah, it's the rematch. So might as well fight in the same location you fought the first fight. Let's go against Catterall. Perfect. He lost two of the belts. So he's not undisputed anymore, but he's still a world champion. And on top of that, he's a unified world champion. He's still a unified world champion, just not undisputed. He's got two world titles. Yeah, hooks and crosses. I mean, I'm with you. You're talking about Wilder's cut, his fucking suit being too heavy. Yeah, fuck yeah, I clown him. I'm a Wilder fan, but I clown him about that. I made memes about that. That's when people were like, "Oh man, you're turning on your own man." I mean, if I wasn't clowning him, people would have been calling me a fanboy, right? So yeah, I was clowning him for that shit. I mean, that's something different than the Fury allegations of cheating and everything. Yeah, that was bullshit. Fucking Wilder looks stupid with those excuses, man, big time. And then talking about that, fucking Teofimo Lopez was one of the guys that was very critical about him for making all those excuses and not taking the loss like a man. Those were his words by Teofimo. He even was talking mad shit, that take it like a man and this and that. And then what happened? Then Teofimo loses, and what happened? Turned into fucking Wilder. He turned into Wilder as soon as he lost. And his excuses are like out there too. Like, I had too much air in my lungs. I mean, it's not gonna top Wilder with the fucking my suit was too heavy. That one, you can't top that one. That one's like pathetic. But yeah, I mean, he was going with conspiracy theories too. Teofimo Lopez with remember with the zone, that they robbed them because the zone already had it set up for the Cambosas and Devin Haney undisputed fight. And then what happened? The zone pulled out. That they didn't match the money that ESPN put in Top Rank, and they took over that fight. So you see what I mean? They were not even fully invested in that fight. And he was talking about the zone had it all set up. And the fight turns out to be on ESPN. Bruh. Fucking Teofimo taking huge fucking L's. And then he's acting like if they had it all set up, like if he was just robbed, by the judges. Motherfucker, you took a beating, fool, man. You look like you got down with a beehive. His face was all lumped up, swollen, leaking from everywhere. He took a fucking beating, dude, and he got knocked down too. So he's trying to act like if you just got outpointed, and that's that's how the robbery went down. Like, hell, now you took a fucking beating, bro. Fucking Canelo versus B-Ball. He got outpointed. That's it. They outpointed fucking Canelo. That's it. He ain't taking no fucking beating. Teofimo took the beating of his fucking life. Just embarrassed. He won't own up to it. He ended up showing his true colors until he lost. Criticizing Wilder when deep down inside, that's exactly how he was. It's just that he had not lost. And now he lost, and boom, he turned into Wilder right away. Yeah, Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz should be a banger. I'm looking forward to that fight too, but it's another fight where, like, why the fuck is it on pay-per-view? Damn. Boxing, man. It's boxing, man. We ain't never gonna be happy, huh? Shit. But I mean, we gotta complain about that shit, man. You know that shit don't belong on pay-per-view. It does not at all. It might turn out to be a good fight. Like I said, I do want to see that fight. but it does not belong in pay-per-view. It doesn't. And then he's gonna flop. Look at that other pay-per-view. Both of them. Al Heyman is just putting them in position to just flop, and he keeps doing it. Andy Ruiz was put on pay-per-view against Areola. Remember? I think it was, I don't know when it was. Last year before, whatever. That shit did not belong on pay-per-view and it flopped. And then here he goes again against Luis Ortiz, who Al Heyman also put on pay-per-view and flopped miserably, even more when he put Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin, bro. I think it was a New Year's of this year. It was New Year's Day. And that shit flopped. Like he's trying to force motherfuckers to be pay-per-view stars when they're not. Look at Gervonta. Flop after flop after flop after flop. And oh no, he's still a pay-per-view fighter no matter what. I'm like, bro, stupid ass pride, bro. Motherfucker keeps flopping and flopping and flopping. You can't turn a pay-per-view fighter into a pay-per-view fighter if he's not a pay-per-view fighter. Some fighters are not at all, especially when you see them flop over and over on consecutive fights. It's like, no, bro, let it go. He's not a pay-per-view fighter. He's not. Fucking easy to know that he's not. And yeah, I mean, Andy Ruiz already came out showing, I think it was that video where I don't know what workout he was doing. He was like kind of like the push-up workout and he's just holding his stance. So that's a good position where you could suck in your belly. And that's where everybody was running with the oh man, he's looking skinny. He's looking in good shape. Remember the catfishing shit? Remember when he did that shit too on the rematch against Anthony Joshua with a picture where he looks skinny, just sucking in that belly? So he's catfishing people. And then not that long ago, Andy Ruiz just came out talking about, oh, it's not about losing weight and this and that. Because he was already talking like someone that's not trying to lose weight anymore. But you see, everybody was running with that shit already when he was doing that workout. That oh my god, he looks skinny when he was sucking in that belly, and then he comes out, confessing now that that's not what he's focusing on. So we're gonna see fucking big fat chubby ass El Butterbean Andy Ruiz again. Watch, that's what we're gonna see, and he'll probably get knocked down again. And then what are you gonna blame it on? You were blaming it on losing weight, the reason you got knocked down. So we'll see, but we'll see too, because Luis Ortiz on his last fight against Charles Martin, he got dropped. His chin was looking suspect. But with that one, we kind of understand because that motherfucker's already 43 years old. But you see, he's a good 43. He hasn't been taking punishment. He only fucking got knocked out twice by fucking Wilder by one fighter. And he's already 43. So we'll see. We'll see about that chin. Because that one looked fucking suspect too in his last fight. And he was always good about that because he had never been dropped Luis Ortiz by anybody but fucking Wilder. But he got back up and he won by stoppage, Luis Ortiz, and that's why we got this fight with El Butterbean. So yeah, now everybody's gonna be looking forward to that shit. Like, who the fuck is Teofimo gonna fight now next? Cause he's talking about fucking pay-per-view. And then yeah, if you go to BoxRec, you can see that it says here, let me show you. It says it tells you the channel they're fighting on, and it says in the USA it's gonna be on. It has ESPN and ESPN Plus. So if it's going to be on pay-per-view, it would only say ESPN Plus, but it also says ESPN because their pay-per-views on the ESPN Plus app, it's only through the ESPN Plus app. You can't do it through regular TV anymore. So it's listed with ESPN and ESPN Plus. So maybe they're thinking of making it into a pay-per-view, but if he can't get a good opponent and ends up fighting some bullshit ass opponent like he fought last night, Pedro Campa, then maybe yeah, they'll just end up putting it on regular ESPN instead of pay-per-view. I would hope so. Cause I mean, already putting it against what's his name? Fucking Barbosa. That's a good ass fight, but I don't think that's a good fight for pay-per-view. That shit's gonna flop. So now, yeah, that's gonna be the question, man. I mean, we already wanted to know who the fuck he's fighting next. But now that they're talking about pay-per-views, like, oh man, it better be a good opponent. Don't give me no bullshit. Don't give me no fucking bullshit. Shan McLean on Facebook talking about let's go. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Hey, and then another thing I was gonna say, hey, like, come on, man, but he's losing a little bit of his mojo, fucking Teofimo, man. What's up with that flip? He's always been really good with them backflips, man. He busted that backflip kind of like, bro. He landed kind of like on his ankle, on his knee. Like, bro, man, I don't know, man. He used to even do it off the fucking ropes and everything. Like, come on. I give him an A on his performance, but on that backflip, Teofimo gets like I don't know, maybe a C minus, bro. His backflips have always been good, man. They're like really good, landing like fucking Marvel characters and shit, like all badass fuck. You know what I mean? Like acing that fucking landing. This time it kind of looked kind of suspect, bro. Like, you all right, bro? Look like you banged your knee right there, kind of landed on the knee. Yeah, Xander Sayas, like I said, he's looking good. Xander Sayas is looking good, but it's just like, let me see, let me look this motherfucker up, man. I mean, I've been, there, he's always been put right there on the undercards, and it's like, like, come on, man. I want more, man. I don't know. They gotta step it up with the competition, man. And he's really good, and that's why I think it's time where we see a step up, man. But I mean, you know how Top Rank is. They be marinating their fucking fights, their fighters, for a long time. Sometimes too long. This might be it, man. It's taking too fucking long, and he's ready to go. I think, man. He's a badass. Let me see. Let me look him up. Here, you can see him right here. Sander Sayas, 14-0, man. He's already 14-0, 10 knockouts. And yeah, step it up, man. You gotta step it up, man. You gotta give him something better. This fight from last night, I mean, yeah, his confidence is amazing for only being 19. Vic Court is saying, yeah, everything about him is perfect. Like I said, he's ready to go. I think he would even. What division is he in? Let me see. Okay, yeah, no, well, he's fighting at 154 right now, so he cannot be a world champion right now. Not at 154. We got the undisputed Charlo right there. So all the belts are taken right there. There's not even a secondary title right there at 154. The WBA regular is not even there. I don't know about the IBO. Who the fuck he might not be interested in that shit. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if the undisputed Charlo wasn't with all the belts and already tied up to fight Tim Tszyu, I would say fucking Sander Sayas, he's ready to fucking challenge for a fucking world title, but not at that weight class, man. It's the belts are taken and Charlo is already scheduled to fight Tim Tszyu. He could fight the top opponents. I'm thinking he could get down and even beat some top opponents at 154. I think he's ready. I just maybe they won't at least get close to the top opponents. Give him some better competition, man. Something way better than this. The guy he fought today, yeah, Elias Espadas, like motherfuckers ranked at 135, number 135. On BoxRec, because BoxRec fucking ranks you all the way into the thousands. So he's like way out there, bro. Like he's not even close to being a top fighter. So yeah, they got to do better with the matchmaking with Sander Sayas. But his talent is amazing. I like the kid. Teofimo is back, and yeah, he even changed his little nickname from the what is the take back, the takeover to the take back. Even though that was like probably temporary just for this fight, the take back. That was pretty cool. Yeah, he looking good. He's looking good. Before watching the fight, I seen some comments, and like I said, they were being too critical, but I understand why. He talks out of his ass way too much. I was a fan of his until that started happening. Like, dude, you're like you overdo it, bro. Like, shut the fuck up. Did you guys see lately when he said that it doesn't matter? And he's still calling himself undisputed. Like, no, bro, you were never even fucking undisputed. And then he was talking about no matter what people say, they call me delusional. I don't care. Like, he knows that's what they call him. Um, I still believe that I'm the best of this era. And I'm like, bro. Sit the fuck down, bro. Chill, bro. Look at yourself in the mirror. Don't talk out of your ass like that, bro. And then with that undisputed shit, like that shit is never gonna go away. He's gonna keep fucking lying to himself forever, but it's gonna always hurt him. It's gonna always hurt his feelings that when he sees all those lists, I know he sees them from all these different websites and networks on TV and everything. When they bring up the lists of the undisputed fighters in the four belt era, his name is never there. Only if that list is put up by his own promotion, by ESPN or Top Rank. No one else puts it. No one. Everybody, any other fucking ranking besides fucking Top Rank or ESPN when it comes to the four belt era undisputed champions, he's not there. And yeah, I know that hurts him. And that's good. Stop being so fucking delusional, bro. You were never undisputed. You were close to being undisputed. Yeah, Vic is talking about it threw him off. They were celebrating after the fight so much. Yeah, they did. Was he crying? I think he was crying, bro. Like, you okay, bro? You know who you just fought? Just like Gervonta Davis. He was like all pumped up after fucking beating fucking weak ass Rolly, bum ass Rolly. Like, calm the fuck down, bro. Shit, not even fucking Devin Haney was like that. He became undisputed at 23. Not even fucking Canelo was like that. The first and only undisputed champion at 168, something Andre Ward couldn't even fucking do, or Kawasaki. Like, damn, these fools getting all fucking excited. Like Ryan Garcia too. He was all excited, beating fucking bums and shit. Like, calm the fuck down.